Happy Thursday to those that celebrate out there. 10 seconds in. I feel like I should just start the show just waiting for people to come in first. Because I just realized I'm going to have to repeat myself whenever people come in. I can't just be saying Happy Thursday. No one hears it. It's like, did I even really say it? If a tree fell down in the woods and did it even make a noise? I used to really think that as a kid, and low key, I still kind of do. No one was there to hear it, so did it make a noise? Of course, it made a noise, right? But did it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But we're gonna wait for some more people to come in. If you're rewatching this, if you're catching the replay, appreciate you guys taking your time to tune in. And we got one person in. Hey, how's it going? And a like right off the bat. Appreciate y'all. That's a viewer right there. They know what's up. They know if we have 7 people watching and 4 likes. Come on, let's get it rolling. But thank you for the person coming in. Wayne here, and of course, NFL. You already know, week 2. We all could need some football right about now. So, very much so looking forward to tonight's game for the Commanders versus the Packers. That game is going to be great. I was talking to a coworker about it. I'm not touching this game as far as prize picks, underdog fantasy, just any bets in general. Just this game's way too close. Just enjoy the game tonight. You know what I'm saying? Just enjoy it. Have fun. Watch the game. I was thinking on the way home from work today about, why do I care about this game so much? Well, 2 reasons. It's the quarterbacks. Really, Jordan Love versus Jaden Daniels. You've got Jaden Daniels coming off an incredible rookie year. Looking to prove it again. He did look great last week. Granted, it was against the Giants. However, the Giants do have an okay defense. They did hold them to, 24, 21 points, something like that. So that works there. And also, Jordan Love, signed a huge contract, not this offseason, but the last offseason. And just looking to prove himself. He looks great last week. So, Love finally getting some respect in the league. Yeah, I think so. I really do think that he's going to get some more respect. I think that he's going to do well tonight. I haven't made my picks yet. I'm going to do that on live air. So, boom, 19 people in the chat right away. So, we'll start there. Happy Thursday to those that celebrate. This is Fantasy Blitz. I'm your host, Elijah, or Eli, whatever you want to call me. But what you cannot call me is last place in my fantasy leagues, because I'm not. All right? I'm a winner out here. Sometimes. Some leagues. Howard says hi. Hi, Howard. How are you? How are you, Howard? I love English. We'll just get right into it. This is Starts and Sits week 2. This is our first edition of Starts and Sits for the season this year. Kevin says hi. Hey, Kevin, how are you? We didn't really do any Starts and Sits last week just because it's week 1. You never really know what's going to happen. I don't want to gamble on any of these players. We haven't seen any tape. We don't have any guesses in there. Howard says sunglasses emoji. Appreciate you, man. That means you're cool. Kevin says goob. Me? A goob? Maybe. Just maybe. But appreciate y'all checking in. We're going to get started right away with some news. Really 3 pieces of news this year. No one's really gotten hurt yet. Well, one of them is about someone getting hurt. But that doesn't only make the news, but usually that's what news is about. And some big signings, but no one's made any signings. Howard said poop. What? All right. So Chris Godwin, Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver, coming back. He's returning to practice. That's always good news. I would give him about maybe 3 or 4 more weeks. Not too sure. And then Brock Purdy out 2 to 5 weeks with a turf toe injury. Those are always tricking me. I've never really understood turf toe to an extent, but 2 to 5 weeks, that's tight. It's a tight window, but also can be extended. You can live without 2 weeks, but this is why it's always important to have a great backup. I have C.J. Stroud. He's been my go-to backup for a lot of leagues, as well as Caleb Williams, just because you don't really have the confidence in starting them. But in case something like this happens, you can do it right away. Whoa, Howard, how are you dropping those things? That's crazy. Turf toe sounds like a weak reason to miss multiple weeks. I agree, Wayne. I've never had turf toe, so maybe I'll get turf toe to understand it completely, but I just don't get it. But Purdy out 2 to 5 weeks. And then if you saw the Sunday night game between the Bills and the Ravens, Lamar Jackson did shove a fan um, due to the reaction of the fan shoving him and DeAndre Hopkins. No disciplinary action for Lamar. Honestly, I believe that's a good part on him. He didn't really cause injuries. But also, it's like self-defense in some sort of way. He said, "Don't know." That's crazy. Howard, stick around, man. I'm liking these chats for real. Um, so no discipline for Lamar, and we'll get right into the starts and sits. Starting tonight with the Commanders at Green Bay. Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. Around 8:20, I believe, is kickoff, or 8:15. Starting off with Washington, we have Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, and Zach Ertz are all INB. So if you're new to the channel, INB means if need be. So if you're in a situation where you really do need to start a flex guy, you're running out of options and you do have Terry McLaurin, or you don't have any wide receiver options, Terry McLaurin, I think it's fine. But I do believe that there are better options. Like, I would start Chris Olave over Terry McLaurin this week. I'm not a huge fan of Terry McLaurin this year. Granted, I could be wrong. There's already some guys on this list that I have been wrong about. It is week 1. Like, one of them, Cooper Kupp, put up a stinker. However, only 3 targets. I don't think Cooper Kupp is going to have 3 targets every week. I think it'll be better. Kevin says, okay, for sure. Wow, staying off the grid. I'm just... What is this? What in the world are we... Okay, I think I might ban this guy. I'm going to remove these comments. Hopefully one day we become pretty big and not worry about it. Kevin was a laugh too. Yeah, what was that? But Zach Ertz had a great week as well, but he is the tight end on one of my teams. I don't have much confidence in starting him for the rest of the season. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to have to, hide user on this channel. Yeah, we're just going to get rid of you. Opinion on Charlie Kirk. Try to keep this to football, man, really. Crazy how that's right away. I mean, this is the biggest news in a long time. Okay, no distractions. Here we go. But I do like the Commanders this year. I do think they're going to be a great team. No doubt playoff push for sure. Can they go NFC Championship again? I don't know. We'll have to see. I think tonight's game will really prove it. I know it's week 2, but we'll have to see how it goes throughout the season. For the Green Bay Packers, I love Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Tucker Kraft. I love him. Again, I mean, any Green Bay wide receiver for the past few years, I really have not had much confidence in. So take that with a grain of salt. If you have any Green Bay wide receivers, at best, flex for sure. Moving on to Cleveland at Baltimore. Joe Flacco returning to Baltimore. He did say this was a huge game for him. I'm not too confident in his game, but I am confident in Jerry Jeudy and David Njoku. Those are going to be my go-to guys for every Cleveland game, just because of the productivity that they can produce. I don't know how much they will produce, but I do believe that they will produce almost every week, especially one of the two. And also David Njoku, that's a tight end that I just don't ever see putting on the bench, even if he has back-to-back stinkers. 3 stinkers in a row, and if you know fantasy, 3 games in a row, if they're terrible, got to move on. Can't have 3 bad games in a row. So for the Baltimore side, Lamar, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, and the defense. I think the defense is going to eat this week. I think they're angry. I think they're going to be very upset with giving up 41 points on Sunday night and allowing that comeback. It's at Baltimore. It's against a rival. I really think the beatdown is going to be coming. They did open up, and I think it's going to close. The line is around 11.5. I think it'll probably close around 11 or 12, somewhere in between then. So I think 11.5 is great. I live in New Zealand, says Howard. Right on, man. Right on. Just had a family member to go to New Zealand and Australia, around that area, so great time it seems like. But I think Baltimore can definitely just put on a showcase of this game. Which is crazy, the one player I am concerned about is Derrick Henry, just because of the front 7 of Cleveland. Had a phenomenal game against the Bills. I hope no one really looks at that fumble from a fantasy standpoint of never wanting to trust him again or have questions about trusting him. And it's Derrick Henry, 31 years old, still around 1 pick in fantasy. And most teams would kill to have him on their team. If your team is not the Eagles, or even really the Falcons. Like, I mean, I'm a Falcons fan. I would love to have Derrick Henry on my team. Moving on, we have Jacksonville at Cincinnati. For the Jacksonville side, we have Terrence, as I put T-Law, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Brian Thomas Jr., and then Brendan Strange. I saw a great bye. See you later, Howard. Have a good one. He had a great game last week. I think that Trevor Lawrence maybe has found some great plays right there with Brendan Strange. So I think that could be his go-to guy because we know Trevor Lawrence. It can be difficult to get to the receivers at times, and that's why I think Etienne's a good start. I don't know if he'll repeat the same productivity he had last week, but I do believe that Strange and Etienne out of these guys, will have a better week. I do believe in Brian Thomas Jr. I just think it'll take some time. In the Cincinnati side, I mean, almost every week, you're going to want to start Burrow. You're going to want to start Brown, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. And then another guy I'm going to throw in there, Noah Fant. Okay, I think Noah Fant might be Joe Burrow's guy. Oftentimes, I would look at the game, like on the game tracker, and I would see pass completed to Noah Fant, targeted for Noah Fant. Joe Burrow likes his targets, okay? And what I mean by that is he has particular guys that he likes to get the ball to. And we saw last week, Jamar Chase only put up 4 fantasy points, 2 catches, 26 yards or so. So, excuse me, not too great. But it's Jamar Chase. I don't expect that to happen. But I did say at the beginning of the season and during draft time, Jamar Chase should not be your 101. Okay. It should have been Bijan, and he had a great week. Sorry, I need to slow it down. It's been a crazy week, as y'all know. Moving on to the New York Giants at Dallas. I'm curious about this game. I think this game will show a lot for each team's in their future. All right, I know it's week 2, but something that's so exciting about week 2 is, will you repeat what you did last week, whether it's good or bad? Will you show us the team that we all saw, whether it's good or bad, like I said, and it's against a different opponent, right? So maybe some teams have a kryptonite team, just can't get over the hump. Wayne Harris says, go Giants. Go Giants. I've always liked the Giants growing up. So the New York Giants, I mean, I don't think they did terrible against the Commanders defensively-wise, but offensive-wise, like that, it just looked terrible. I think Jackson Dart is going to eventually start for them. So no quarterback yet, honestly, for a while, unless Jackson Dart takes over and starts doing really well, or any quarterback. But I like Malik Neighbors if he is healthy. Tyron Tracy Jr., just a workhorse guy for them. And then for the Dallas side, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Javonte Williams, another guy that we said on this channel. Look out for him. 2 touchdowns last week, a week ago today. I was a bit surprised, not going to lie, but I wasn't surprised because, again, he's only 25 years old, makes plays. He's still athletic. Yes, I know an ACL injury can hold a team or a player back, but it's on the Cowboys. They've always had a good run, especially on the line. I like Javonte Williams a lot. And last but not least, George Pickens. Not giving up on him yet, but if he has no productivity this week, he definitely will find a nice spot on the bench, which pains me because I do think he's a talented receiver and he's on a great offense that is mainly throwing the ball. So I would just be aware of what's going on over there. So caution with Pickens. He's not an if need be. To me, it's more of like a gamble. Like you put him in there with confidence, no second guessing. But yeah, we'll move on from that game. Chicago at Detroit. We'll start with Chicago. Caleb Williams, if need be. Again, like if you have Brock Purdy and you need to start your quarterback. Caleb Williams, he may be on your waiver wire. Maybe not. I personally don't think he will. I think it's more like a 60-40 thing. But DeAndre Swift, I like it. I like the productivity. He had 17 carries, I believe, 53 yards. And he just ran really hard. And I think Minnesota has a great defense. But I just like how much they're getting him involved. 4 targets through the air, which in today's game isn't a lot for a running back. It's not a low amount, but it's DeAndre Swift. He's never really been a pass back. And they're already involving him. Ben Johnson's the coach who worked with Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, I think he's going to get him involved no matter what. And then for the Detroit side, I mean, just Jared Goff, really. Gibbs, Laporta, and Amon-Ra. I think Detroit's going to smack Chicago this week. I think they're both teams are very upset with how they played, and Detroit's the better team by far. All right, and then moving on to New England at Miami. And sorry if I'm flying through these games. I don't really have anywhere to be, but it's week 2. We don't have a lot of tape. We don't have a lot of stuff to look at in order to make these big decisions. It's mainly still going off of what can you expect from the player, who are they playing, and can they repeat what they did last week or even around them. Like Zay Flowers, currently the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy, depending on your league. Do I think Zay Flowers is wide receiver 1, potential for the year? Absolutely not. No, I don't. Would I be surprised? For sure, but I just don't think it's going to happen again. But I do have confidence in starting him again if you're putting up what I'm putting down, picking up what I'm putting down. Breathe. New England at Miami. I mean, honestly, nobody except the running backs of Trevion Henderson and Devon Achane. I'm hoping Mike Vrabel will get the ball to Henderson more through the ground. His ground game looked great, stat-wise, but 6 for 6 on pass and catch. Oh, Chili Rainbow in the chat. What up, y'all? The stream can now officially start. Let me get some water in there because we got a real one in here. Right on. Devon Achane. I mean, the Dolphins looked terrible. They looked awful. They looked really, really bad. And I think Achane's the only guy in there. I think it's time to put Tyreek Hill in the past, for sure. For sure. It's over. I think Waddle is good, but I need to see the Miami offense do more in order for me to put full trust into Jalen Waddle to do well and to succeed. Again, that's another guy that I said I'm huge on in the later rounds. Didn't really show it, around 7 fantasy points last week. But I do think he will eventually sneak in there. I just need to see more from Miami. Are the Colts that good? I don't think so. I think Miami just looked really bad, especially Tua. Win here says, just giving Eli my picks as he goes off over starts and sits. I figured with the Go Pats for sure. I think the New England Patriots are going to win this one for sure. Moving on to San Francisco at New Orleans, SF at NO. Christian McCaffrey and Ricky Pearsall. Juwan Jennings is a little banged up. No Brock Purdy. Mac Jones is inevitable. He's going to have to play. I feel like for the rest of his life as a backup quarterback, he's going to have to start just one game. I don't know what kind of deal he made with the NFL, but that just seems to be the case. But Christian McCaffrey, Ricky Pearsall. And then for the New Orleans side, we have Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave if need be. Like I said earlier, if you're not really sure about your flex position, I think that Chris Olave is a good play. I'm personally thinking about starting him in some of my leagues just because I don't have full confidence in some of the guys on my team. But it is Chris Olave on the Saints. The Saints are not looking great. They did put up a pretty good fight against Arizona, but it is week 1. Grain of salt. Moving on to Buffalo at New York. The Jets, that is. Josh Allen, James Cook. Pump the brakes. So there's 3 categories for a lot of these players that I'm thinking of. It's pump the brakes, hold on a second, and let's ride, okay? Keon Coleman, again, number 2 wide receiver in fantasy this year. Pump the brakes. I don't think that game's going to happen again. Do I think Keon Coleman can eventually become a flex start or a wide receiver start? Absolutely, for sure. But I don't think he's going to do that kind of stuff again. He's going up against the Jets with Sauce Gardner. I don't like that matchup at all, really. So I'd just be careful around there. But again, James Cook, another guy. I love James Cook, right? But I think his success really comes off of Josh Allen. I think that it's going to be just... I think a lot of that stuff happens because they get so close to the goal line. Here you go, James Cook. Here's your touchdown for the week. Guy barely broke 1,000 yards last year. I think he had like 16, 15 touchdowns, 18 touchdowns, something around that, like crazy. But it didn't match the yards. So you had to realize like something's going on here. Josh Allen is a true QB1. I think he starts on any team. Like last Sunday night, as much as it broke my heart, this guy proved to me that he can play ball at any time, anywhere. And I got so much respect for him. Wayne says, go Niners for his pick. I see that for sure. For the Jets, Fields, pump your brakes. All right, let's see how this game goes. If he does great again, okay, sure. He did great against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have a great defense. That game was nuts. I mean, something in me wanted to say don't take the under because I feel like this game is a trap. Okay, and it was a trap. I think they had the second highest scoring game of the week, and they just looked great. Another guy that I was wrong about though was Garrett Wilson. He put up a great game. I think he had like over 100 yards catching and a touchdown or something like that. Just fantastic from Garrett Wilson. And then Brees Hall as well. I do think Brees Hall eventually will decline, but he did have a great game last week, so I do want to start him again. But so far, it's just Fields, Wilson, and Hall. No INBs. I think you can just start them. Seattle, JSN, another guy where I didn't see too much coming from him, but he did produce. JSN for the Seattle Seahawks, and then at Pittsburgh, Jalen Warren and DK Metcalf for sure. For sure. Not ready yet for Aaron Rodgers. He holds under the hold on a second category. Let's see how this game goes. 4 touchdowns. Who said my goat was washed? I did. I said my goat was washed, and I was wrong. All right, so that was crazy. On this show, you're going to see that I will say that when I'm wrong, and I will definitely say when I'm right, because who doesn't like saying that or will say that? But I was definitely wrong about Aaron Rodgers. 4 touchdowns is incredible last week, especially on your old home territory for a season, really. So very curious to see how that goes. This game excites me a lot more than it should, just because both teams 0-1 or not 0-1, looking to improve to a record that they think is worthy of their standard. Like if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan and you're 1-1 at this point in the season after playing the 49ers and the Steelers, I think that does show that Sam Darnold can win you a game or two. But this game excites me a lot. Rams at Tennessee Titans. This game's exciting too, just because I think Cam Ward now can have a breather against a non-Broncos defense. Rams do have a good defense, but it's not the Denver Broncos. But for the Rams side, we have Stafford. Frat Stafford, baby. Let's ride. I'm all for it, man. I'm all for Frat Stafford being back. Puka Nacua put up a great game. I thought he was dead on the field after a while, but he seemed to be great. Kyron Williams and Devontae Adams. Pump your brakes on Devontae Adams. I mean, I'm confident that he'll do well because it's Devontae Adams, still one of the better receivers in the league this year. But just be aware, pump the brakes a little bit, but if you got him, it probably means that you're starting him. Go Rams. Matt is a true Georgia hero. Yeah, he said some stuff about the Georgia fan base, which kind of upset me, but it's cool, man. It's cool. The Titans, Pollard, Ridley. If need be, I'm torn in my category of let's ride and hold on a second. It's almost the same as like pump the brakes, but it's not. Pump the brakes is more of like a let's not go into it. Yeah, Rip Charlie Kirk says Claybird and go Bills. I'm a Ravens fan, so I can't really agree with you on that one, but they are good, and I respect it. I love good football, man. Seriously, I love watching good teams. So, absolutely, I hear you. But really had 8 targets last week against a really good Denver Broncos defense. So, shout out to Cam Ward trying to get it done. A lot of those balls were dropped, but I'm not ready yet to start Cam Ward. Quarterback position is very, very tough. Ravens are a good team. Claybird says, yeah, I hope Ravens and Bills can meet each other again in the AFC Championship. That would be a great matchup. I mean, the Ravens 0-2. The last 2 games in football have been losses to the Bills in heartbreaking fashion. So both teams want to keep that motivation going. But I like really 8 targets. I think it's going to be good. All right, we got 6 games left, and then we will go over our picks. Carolina at Arizona. I love really the Arizona side of things. I don't really like the Carolina Panthers. That game last week against the Jags was so funny. It was like all season I was like, I like the Panthers. Me too. I like the Panthers. We'll see how they. Oh, never mind. They do suck. Like they are not a good football team, and it just kind of shows. We'll have to see how that one truly goes against the Cardinals. I want to see Carolina go against a bad team. You know, like the Browns or the Saints. I want to see how you do against crap teams, okay? Evan Ingram has been upgraded from questionable to healthy. That is huge because our next game is the Denver Broncos team versus the Indianapolis Colts squad. So we'll get over the Carolina and Arizona game. So Arizona, Murray, Connor, McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr., he looks great. Oh, beautiful. And then defense and special teams, I just think they're going to eat up Bryce Young and Chuba Hubbard looks good, but Torrey McMillan, if need be. I like the targets, and I like the production he's made. Um, Denver at Indianapolis. Battle of the Horse. How you doing? Bo Nix, if need be, did not do good. Made a lot of people nervous last week, okay? Including myself. I have no Bo Nix stock whatsoever, but I do want to see him do well because I want to see the Broncos make a challenge against the Chiefs, make a challenge against the Chargers this year. Indianapolis side with Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman Jr. Another guy we talked about, get Michael Pittman Jr. That guy did insane work last week, and no one wants to talk about it. All right, so Michael Pittman Jr., safe start. Let's ride all the way through. If you have Michael Pittman Jr. and you drafted him, you're a G. Seriously, you're a G. I didn't get to get him in any of my leagues because people in them got him way too quick, which unfortunate on my end, so it's okay. And then Tyler Warren, I think he looks great as well. I think Colston Loveland, I had to repeat myself with other games, but Colston Loveland, I've seen so many people talking about dropping him. Whoa, it's a rookie in his first game. Like, can we pump the brakes on this one? Like, it's going to be okay. He's on Ben Johnson's team. Like, did you not see how Sam Laporta was used by him? Come on. Now we're moving on to the game of the week and maybe the game of the year, depending on how one team shows up. But Philadelphia at Kansas City, that stadium's going to be electric. I can't wait to watch that game. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Hollywood Brown. A.J. Brown. I was like, wait a minute. A.J. Brown for the Eagles. Don't like Devontae Smith. I'm going to say let's pump the brakes on that one. I have him in one league paired with A.J. Brown. It just was really bad. So if I see A.J. Brown not making a lot of production, what makes me think that Devontae Smith will? Now, it's no correlation entirely there, but it just makes me a little bit nervous, okay? And I don't need to be nervous when it comes to the Eagles because everyone on that team offensively is pretty solid. And they just acquired Brian Robinson Jr. Fantastic. Not Brian Robinson Jr., I'm sorry, Tank Bigsby. I think that can go really well if Saquon starts to go down. Kevin Acero says, hello, how goes it? Seriously, how goes it? And then for the Kansas City side, Mahomes, Hollywood Brown, Travis Kelce. I don't know the timetable for Xavier Worthy, but I am a bit concerned. Even without him, I don't know how much better they would have been. So right now we'll just stick with Hollywood Brown and Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. He had a bad game, but he still looks really good. Atlanta at Minnesota. Come on, Birds. Bring it home, please. So Atlanta, Bijan, London, if he's healthy, Kyle Pitts, and Darnell Mooney, if he's healthy. I am predicting a huge game from Darnell Mooney if he comes back healthy. Healthy. Not like good enough to play, but healthy. All right, he was upgraded healthy. Now he's downgraded to questionable. So we'll see how that goes. I got to check in later on how his status looks. And Minnesota side, another guy that we talked about, Jordan Mason. It looks like he's going to take over the role sooner than later. Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson. Justin Jefferson looks like a ghost out there. Vikes will upset the Dirty Birds. Wayne Heron. What? No. Justin Jefferson looked like a ghost the first half, but then caught a touchdown, which really saved his fantasy production. And T.J. Hawkinson, another guy that I'm just... Hold on. Let's see how it goes. Monday Night Football, Week 2. They do this like every year. They have 2 games. Tampa Bay at Houston. Tampa Bay, Baker, Bucky, Evans, and Emeka. That's like a rhyme scheme or something with the E's and the B's. I liked Baker a lot. He did crush my Birds in some sort of way. I liked Bucky. Mike Evans is always a go-to play. Emeka looks great. That's another guy we talked about on the show. Look out for him. He's going to be fantastic. And Houston side, really just Nico Collins. I like C.J. Stroud, but I don't know how much I like him this year. And earlier I said I like him as a backup, but I don't know how much I like him as a starter and no confidence in starting. Rookie C.J. Stroud, though, we'll never forget that. No, never. Nico Collins, another guy that I just don't think that will, like Jamar Chase. Do you really think that they're going to have, this might be just their one and only bad game all year? You just got to trust the process, see how it goes. Chargers at Raiders. This is a great game right here. Divisional rivals. Chargers side, Herbert looked like the best quarterback in the entire league last week. Omari Hampton looked great. And Ladd McConkey. No Keenan Allen, no Quentin Johnston. The ball can only go around so much, and I think that game last week was great. But I think I'm going to stick with Ladd because that's been clearly Justin Herbert's go-to guy. I saw a funny video that said Brazilians are going to think that Quentin Johnston is Randy Moss, and that cracked me up because they don't know, like, I mean, I'm not saying all Brazilians, but, like, Quentin Johnston is not that good, but apparently he is. I loved it, but hopefully he can. If you can pick him on your waiver wire and you really have room for him, I'd say do it. Ashton Genty, if need be, I mean, you're still going to start him because you took him, but be cautious, seriously. Brock Bowers, if he's healthy, I believe. So I just read a report that said he's fine, but technically they have to put something down. So I like Brock Bowers. I love Jacoby Myers, another guy we talked about. Jacoby Myers is great. I'm telling y'all, he's a good player. He wants out, but he's still balling out. I like that. All right, so that's it for the games. Like I said, really do appreciate y'all, like, just letting it fly by. Oh, Derpy Entertainment says, Panthers versus Cardinals in the midget bowl between the two quarterbacks. I don't know if I'm going to, shadow ban for beating that. But, yeah, I mean, I didn't realize that. Yeah, two shorter quarterbacks on that side. We'll see how that goes. Was it two former number one overall picks going against each other? How many times has that happened, I feel like nowadays it just happens all the time because quarterbacks always go number one overall. All right. We're moving on to our picks. So last week, not good. We went 71% on our picks. Terrible. All right. We went 10 for 6, which is like it's not 71%. Overall, we're 71%. 10 for 6, that's awful by our standards. It's week 1. A lot of, like, the games that I missed on was Kansas City. I chose New England. I chose Miami. Never again. I chose Atlanta. I chose Seattle. Oh! 6, 7. We went 9 for 7 last week. That's... Wow. That's really bad. It's just unbelievable. That's terrible. So, you know what that means? This week, he said 71% is a starting point, not horrible. No, well, it's 71% overall. So our overall picks are 149 for 61, or in 61. Pretty upset about it. Pretty upset. Like, that's not good. But we're going to get better. We went 9 and 7 last week. But our lock of the week hit. That's going to hit almost every week, I hope. We took Washington minus 5.5. Cha-ching money. So our pick of the week this week is plus 3.5. Let me get this down on the right game. Where are you? Plus 3.5. I'm going to make this like a YouTube bait. YouTube short bait. This lock is great, and I'll tell you why. These two teams are going against each other. One, fiery offense. The other one, still kind of figuring it out. Both defenses suck. But when I say suck, I mean they're not, like, amazing. So I'm expecting a high-ish scoring game. But I have the Cincinnati Bengals at minus 3.5. I wish it was at minus 2.5. Obviously, that makes everything easier with field goal in range. But I can see the Bengals winning this game 27-20, 27-23. That still covers. But that's the lock for the week. We're going to go 2-0 for sure. So if you want to make some cha-ching, there you go. All right, here we go. Live picks. I have not picked any games except the Cincinnati game. So here we go. Washington at Green Bay. Give me the Packers. I think that they're going to do a lot of damage this year, and I think they're going to take care of Washington. Cleveland at Baltimore. Baltimore for sure. I was trying to think about if they would cover or not. Minus 11.5. Yeah, probably. I just think they're going to beat them up. Jacksonville at Cincinnati. Give me Cincinnati. Giants at Dallas. Give me Dallas. Chicago at Detroit. Give me Detroit. New England at Miami. I'm high on New England this year, man. I'm pumped on New England. Seriously, I am pumped. I really think that they're going to be incredible. Um, Hola, ¿cómo estás? To our Spanish speakers, by the way. I'm huge on New England. I know they took a loss last week, but I still think they're going to do well. San Francisco at New Orleans, San Francisco. Buffalo at the Jets, Buffalo. Seattle at Pittsburgh. Give me Pittsburgh. Seattle going 0-2. Ugh. But I don't think that's their team. I don't think they're an 0-2 team. Rams at Titans. Give me the Rams. Although I think the Titans are good. Going to be better than a lot of people think. Carolina at Arizona. Give me Arizona. See, this is what's crazy. Seattle is always in 0-2 in my books. And week 2 hasn't started. Arizona would be 2-0 in my books. That is, I mean, I think they're the same team, essentially, when it comes to their records at the end of the year. But, I mean, week 4 and 5 is when you really need to start judging a true team. Like in the NBA, after 10 games, I think you can make a decision on a team. I'm not going to make any real decisions. These are just predictions, but I digress. Denver at Indianapolis gave me the Broncos. Oh, I'm going to regret that one. Oh, I'm going to regret it. Now, give me the Colts. Yeah, give me the Colts. Second guess it, but something me just said don't do it. Philadelphia at Kansas City. Give me the Eagles. Atlanta at Minnesota. Atlanta. But if we lose this week, I'm going to stop picking the Falcons. Tampa Bay at Houston. Give me the Bucks. And Chargers at Raiders. Give me the Chargers. So, if we can improve, if we can get 13 out of the 16 picks this week, we go 22-10. That's money right there. That's good. That's good stuff. And we just move up. But I need a huge week after this, and we'll see how it goes. But that's the end of the show. Really do appreciate y'all. 37 minutes in. Like I said, next week, when we have more tape, when we have more statistics on these players, we will most definitely be able to go into more depth about each team and each player. So really do appreciate y'all. And like I said, I'm only going to talk about football on this page, but with the recent events that's going on, and especially with the 24th, I don't want to call it anniversary, but 24th anniversary of 9/11 happening, no matter what your opinion is and whatever your thoughts are, I do want to say one thing only, that Jesus is king. Love one another, pray for your enemies, and be kind to one another. And just seriously tell the ones that you love as much as you can, because you never know when life is over. So enjoy the game. Find a friend to watch the game with tonight. Order some good food. Make some good food. Enjoy life. Life is a gift. So God bless you guys. Be kind to one another. And let's watch some football. And let's make some money. And let's win our match.